Hi, welcome back to the channel everybody, it's Mike Newton down at Penrith Golf Hub. We've got another review video and it's the Mizuno JPX921 and it's the Hot Metal and the Hot Metal Pro. So we're going to take a look at both models in this particular video. Under the Hot Metal, so it's that game improvement iron, the most forgiving iron, the hottest iron is what Mizuno is saying in terms of distance in the new JPX921 range. And we're also going to take a look at the Pro version as well, because that might be another option that you would possibly want to have a little look on. Show you the difference between these two irons. Got TrackMan on the floor as always, so we'll provide you with some numbers and datas, and obviously my personal feedback on the performance of these clubs. Okay, so we're going to start off with the Hot Metal. So as I say, this is the most forgiving iron in the JPX lineup. It's packed with a bit of technology. We've got the chromoly that we've seen, and this is the now third generation of that. So that's obviously helping increase sort of ball speed off that club face. And I just really want to read this out to you, to be honest. This is off the Mizuno website. So the JPX921 Hot Metal irons pair Mizuno's fastest ever ball speeds with piercingly straight ball flight and controllable landing angles. Now, does that tick all the boxes? Absolutely. So obviously we're going to have a look at that and see if that is actually the case in this particular test. Anyway, so I've got 7 iron. I've got the same shaft that I'm going to switch into both of these heads for this particular test with the Pro version as well. Got a couple of degrees up, right, 1/2 inch long for my particular spec. So we're going to start off with a Hot Metal first. So down by the golf ball, it's very inviting, it's very confident inspiring, you know, as you'd expect, that long sort of heel to toe blade length there does fill you with a lot of confidence. Looks to be a lot of that hitting area there without being too sort of huge in a way. It's not like a shovel on the end of a stick, so to speak. Obviously we're going to see a little bit of more offset here, which we do, so if you're not an offset fan, then that might just sort of put you off, but probably most golfers are going into this iron probably won't be too bothered about that offsetness of the actual golf club. Top edge is sort of medium to thick on that top edge, but it is sort of beveled a little bit there, so you've got like a little satin top section, which you see most of it, but then just that back section it is polished off, so you don't actually sort of see probably the actual thickness of the blade there, you know, that little beveled section at the top, which I think is quite a nice touch. So it's not hugely chunky and blocky looking at that address position. Okay, that's quite a nice opening shot there. So I've reviewed the Tour, I've reviewed the 921 forged, and clearly what we're going to see here now and what I've just sort of experienced there is it's not the same sound. As you'd expect, this isn't forged, so that muted, that softness, that buttery sort of feel, obviously it's going to go a little bit here. So these are a little bit more louder, a little bit more clickier, as you'd expect, but I think maybe for the type of golfer this is sort of aimed at, who's probably looking for distance, looking for extreme forgiveness as much as they can, bit of that extra in terms of getting that ball up and away, then obviously this ticks the boxes. And sometimes that slightly louder, clicky, more explosive sound in a way feels like the ball's going to go a little bit further, feels a little bit hotter off the club face. And to be fair, that first one there, good sort of club head speed there, 91, just sort of touching 92 there, but nearly 131 ball speed, that's pretty quick. Again, lovely, very nice, high flight, just seems to be going, you know, you can sort of see as it comes out, just seems to keep going there. So again, very similar numbers on that one. Spin rate dropping a little bit more on that particular shot, so you see getting under that sort of 5,000 mark, and that's probably obviously the trade-off we sometimes see in these types of irons because of the loft here. This 7 iron is coming in at 29 degrees, so it's strong, you know, it is very strong. Having said that, the height at 129 feet is pretty high, isn't it? So you think low loft, it's going to come out really, really low, but that is flying very, very high and getting a lot of stopping angle at 52 degrees descent. That's got a lot of stopping power in its own right, just through that descent angle. Okay, it just gets up and away and off it goes. Now clearly, you know, I've got more speed than probably the average golfer, so we've got to maybe take that into account. You know, the average golfer swinging this a little bit lower probably won't get that type of height on their irons, but again, spins a little bit on that low bracket 4.8. Okay, so what else are we sort of seeing in this new Hot Metal iron? So we are seeing a 3rd generation of the chromoly. We're seeing 0.2 of a millimetre thinner across its entire face in terms of the thickness. So again, potentially more speed, 0.2 of a millimetre. Very, very fine margins though, isn't it? So we're seeing a variable face thickness and a variable sole thickness as well, which is all helping to, apparently from what Mizuno was saying, is creating ball speed across the entire club face. So if we just take a closer look in the back section of the club, we've got what Mizuno called a harmonic impact, so some like little ribs just in the back section at the top edge of the club, just near where the badge sits in, which is all helping in terms of sound and trying to maybe break up sound waves so it doesn't sound too loud. As I just mentioned before, it does sound obviously a lot louder than you would find with a pure forged type of club, but it's definitely not brash, it's not sort of too overpowering in a way. Ooh, right, that was a little bit of a bottom groove. It's flown very, very straight. Obviously a touch lower on the flight of it because it was a little bit low in the club face. What's the ball speed like? So yeah, it has dropped a tiny bit, 127.7, so it's still in that quick area though. That's the sort of ball speed I saw with the forged, the 921 forged head. Obviously we saw a bit quicker ball speed with this particular one. Obviously that slightly stronger on that loft is obviously going to create a little bit more speed as well. But for a miss hit there, that was all right. So we've also got that brushed satin finish. So across the entire club face, the heel section, the toe section, the top of the club, as you put it in that playing position, is all that satin finish. There's no high polished chrome in that sort of look. And then as you flip the head around and take a look at the back section, we've just got some little polished sections. Very similar again look to the forge, but obviously just in a slightly bigger sort of scale in terms of the head size. But a beautiful finished club, as you'd expect from Mizuno. You know, they make some quality stuff, don't they? And the look of that is very, very nice. Okay, so we'll hit one more shot and then we'll get into the pro head. Ooh, right, that's a little bit toey as well. Turned up a left-hand side. Again, it's flown, looks to be very powerful. Obviously going to create a little bit more ball speed there, slightly closed on my club face, nearly 132. Just spoiled my dispersion ring a little bit there with that last particular shot. Okay, so there's hot metal. Let's move into the pro version. Okay, so switching into the Hot Metal Pro iron. So differences between this iron against the standard Hot Metal is purely really the size of the head. Everything else in terms of the harmonic impact, the sort of sole thickness, the chromoly in the face is exactly the same. So technology wise, nothing changes. It's just in a more compact head shape. And I tell you what, it looks fantastic. It's such a good looking iron. Yes, we've still got that slightly thicker top edge that we do see in there, so there is that sort of chunky appearance on that top side, but the blade length from that heel to toe is very much like the forged blade length, maybe even I could possibly say a little bit narrower possibly. I tell you what, it's lovely. It's a great looking club, a little bit less offset than the standard one. But the lofts are still coming in exactly the same at 29, so hopefully you're not going to lose any of that power there. Obviously we'll see that in these shots, but definitely more of a compact head. So probably performance wise we shouldn't really see a huge amount of difference. So as I say, got same shaft, same makeup as the Hot Metal. Looks lovely behind that golf ball. That's a nice opener. Very similar on the flight, as you'd expect. Well, probably not going to see that change massively. Spin around that 5,500 area. Oh, it's firing off. So high, towering. 91 club head. 131.5 ball spin, a little bit lower on that 146. Did catch that just a fraction every. If I'm going to be very picky there, but again that height, 122 feet, descending at 50 degrees, that's got lots of stopping power. Slightly low on the face that one, but again that is up and away and flying very straight. Yes, that spin goes up a little bit more there, just that slightly low toe strike. Oh, testing the forgiveness on this now. That's a little bit in that heel side, just compensating from that last toe strike. But again, accuracy wise, very good. Okay, we'll give one more hit. Really the big difference there between those two irons is the size of the head, noticeably different. So I think this could be a very popular iron, because I think a lot of golfers, from my experience through fitting, would be maybe wanting that forgiveness, wanting that bit of power there, maybe wanting to try and get that ball flight up nice and high, taking advantage of the technology in the sort of head. But then at the same time, I think a lot of golfers don't like that big chunky look, or that big thick top edge, that long blade length, lots of offset. Not everybody's keen on that, and I think definitely I find more golfers would like that sort of more need to maybe look, but like that little bit of sort of more forgiveness behind it. So I can see where there's a market for this type of iron. It does look good. I could play that maybe in like I'm just thinking like a long iron there, as a long iron replacement, you know, that sort of 3 and 4 iron sort of area. It'd be interesting to just see what's the sort of set makeup on that. So just going back to the hot metal irons quickly there, we're just going to look at the what's available in those, and they're available from 4 iron all the way through to pitch wedge. So this is the standard hot metal head, 4 through to pitch wedge, available both right and left-handed there. So good news for your left-handers out there. And again, Loft is coming in at 29 degrees. And then looking at what's available in the Hot Metal Pro, again 4 iron through to pitch and wedge, but right hand only. So fortunately, left-handers, you will not get your hands on the Pro model, unfortunately. So Loft again 29 degrees for that 7 iron, as you see in there. But as I say, the offset's slightly different and the head shape is a little bit different as well. So everything's exactly the same there in terms of the Loft. The technology just in a more compact head. Oh, again, that's a little bit low in the face. It's come out beautiful again though. Very straight, very neutral. Dispersion wise, take that. A couple little bit of differences from maybe that front to the back there compared to the Hot Metal. But let's go look at those numbers in a little bit more detail between the Hot Metal and the Hot Metal Pro. Okay, so let's have a little look. So we've got the white, which is the Hot Metal, and the yellow, which is the Hot Metal Pro. And we've got the averages here. So you see 91.2, 91. So exactly the same as you'd expect on that club head speed. Same shaft, same length, same makeup, everything like that. Ball speed, absolutely identical. Again, as you'd expect, both are 29 degrees, both the same sort of head basically in terms of technology, what's in there and everything like that. Launching 18.4 against 17, so we did get a couple of slightly lower strikes with the Pro, so hence probably where that launch has just popped down a little bit lower. See, these 16s are just a little bit, that was a little bit low toe, low heel, and that was just a little bit more of a low centre strike, so just altering that launch angle through that strike more than anything. Spin, you can see 5,000 against 5.4, so again those slightly low strikes just pops a little bit spin up. But both really sort of in that lower category of that spin, which again you would typically see 29 degrees of loft. We know we're not going to get loads of spin there. Carry 188191, so just that subtlety of spin, just changing those numbers fractionally there, but hardly anything in it. Smash both similar height, touch low with the Pro again through those slightly low strikes. He just pops that flight down a tiny bit. But both descending in on average at 50 degrees. So quite a lot of stopping power in those descent angles there alone. Okay, everybody, so there we go. There's Hot Metal Pro. So again, you know, Mizuno, I think they've done a fantastic job. 921s, they look really, really good. Very high sort of quality. And again, I think obviously for a larger profile head, which wouldn't really sort of suit me so much to my eye, but obviously it does for a lot of golfers, I think it is a really, really nice shape. I like the satin finish on it, so it's nothing too glary. It's quite subtle on that. I like the way they just chamfered that top edge a little bit so it doesn't appear to be massively chunky. And obviously then you've got the option of the Pro, which is all the same technology, just compact blade length, a little bit less offset, and just a more compact head. It suits my eye much more, and I could probably game those, to be honest. I could quite easily hit those, put them in the sort of bag in terms of those long iron replacement. In terms of the look of it, yes, I'd probably like a little bit more spin for me. Probably don't need as much speed off the face for me personally, but again, you as the golfer would possibly be looking for something a little bit different. As always, it's so important to go and get fit, go and try these against each other. Obviously there's a lot of shaft options there as well. You know, Mizuno have got the DNA system, haven't they, which is quite a nice little system of trying to find the right shaft for your sort of swing type. So just make sure you search your sort of nearest Mizuno custom fit stockists basically. So if you enjoyed the video, then please hit the thumbs up, share the video around, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. Very much appreciated. And while you're there, just ring that bell so you get future notifications. As soon as a video goes live on my channel, you'll be one of the very first ones to watch it, so you will not miss a thing. And hopefully we'll catch up with you all very soon.